Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Stasis, where I have found some more clues. I think we have 5 now. So the PDAs for Alrash Kupar and what's his name, the guy who got ripped in half in the storage room, both have notes attached to them. We've seen this a lot with people's PDAs. Usually, it's just been like character reflective stuff, and I do appreciate these little details. I've wondered if any of them were going to come up in a puzzle, but it hasn't happened for such a long time that I figured, it was probably not going to occur. It was all just character world building out stuff. But as you can see right here, now that we know what we're looking for, this is very clearly a clue. So this one, the guy in the other room, that puts us at 5. I have scoured the area and I cannot find a 6th clue, but with 5 clues, the brute force is not too brutal, I think. So I have the screenshots for these up already. Let's put these in. All right, so we have, these are the 3 we know, the 3 that are showing one, so that I should have pulled all of the clues up. Hold on, let me do that. Let me just tab out here, and so we know that there's a lot of data to to manage all at once. We know the head part is right. And then we know this. Okay. All right, let's work this out. So the head part, definitely good. The sound effects on this computer console are louder than all the others for some reason. I don't know, whatever. The second part is also good. This third part's not set. And then this part's good. So it's 3, 5, and 6 are the ones that we don't know yet. Alright, so given the clues we have here, I'm looking for the molecule that we saw on the note on Alrash Kupar's, and I think this is it. And it's got 5 dots associated with it. Oh no, right, the dots are here. Okay, it says ×1 next to the molecule, so maybe we leave that at 1. The next one, the one from the other guy's notes, let's see where we can find that. Okay, it's got to be this one then, because it's a 4-dot pattern. Yep, that's the one. And the only number that's on here is 4. Let's hope that's referring to this instead of to that. And that means this is the one we're guessing on. But note, there are only 3 patterns here, so that's not so bad. Oh yeah, and it can only have 2 different dosages, I guess, is what these are. So yeah, let's brute force it. Hooray! Sorry about that. That's it feels like kind of a sloppy way to solve the puzzle, but whatever. Okay, so we want to try the next bit. Oh. Well, I got it.
Steady yourself. You'll be okay.
Dad's screaming.
Woke him up. The survivor. He didn't make it. I think I killed him. I think I did something.
I told you to leave him. He was dead the minute they froze him. You just made his death easier, simpler.
I just killed a man, Tia.
You need to move before you become another dead body.
Have some mercy.
Mercy. You have no idea how much mercy I have. I've been in hell. Made choices that got people killed. This isn't just like you anymore. I'm sorry. I need you, John.
Yeah, the sound mixing is wild. Once again, there are not individual volume bars. And they just have like the character voices mixed way below the sound effects, and I don't know, it's very strange. This guy's pale face is contorted into a horrific grimace, so that's not, ideal. And here's a bunch of thick, viscous syrup. A cocktail of cryoprotectant and synthetic amniotic fluids. And I just scoop some up off the floor. Okay. Good enough. Okay, maybe we don't need anything for the biological, what is it, the organic receptacle? Let's put this in the cryopreservation tank.
Is not properly prepared for the selected program.
Okay. Do we still need to worry about this? A protein and fat storage container. I mean, we have a whole dude's dead body, but I don't know. Is there anything sharp around here? We know that the game's logic believes that you can dismember a human body with basically any object. So, it's interesting that this is still interactable. The other pods don't have the interaction icon anymore. I wonder if that is telling me something about the oxygen pod or the oxygen tank. It seems like probably we still need to do something to it. Can I really not use like his body or... Oh god, I wonder if I've like if I've missed an item that is like really not obvious that we need to have picked up somewhere. Cuz like if I had a scalpel or something.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
John just crossed himself. I don't know, from the other, from what we learned in Bone Totem, I kind of thought that basically, like, the Kane Corporation was the remaining religion, but maybe there are still Christians. Maybe John's a Christian. Okay. I feel like we were pretty thorough in here. There isn't that much of an area for us to search to find interactables, so yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything in this room. We've been over that medical room again and again and again and again, but I feel like that's true with all these rooms. Maybe this one least. Did we, like, break anything in a way that we could get a new glass shard, perhaps? We did shatter some glass in here. But, no, it doesn't seem like it. Well, shit. Alright, so maybe carving that guy up is not a real plan, as far as biological matter goes. And when I try to put this stuff in, it says it's not refined, right? Maybe I can refine it somehow.
The organic matter receptacle requires refined biological tissue.
Oh, wait, actually, can I do surgery on it? Okay, it's something like this. Alright. The stainless steel tray bears a faint splatter of biological tissue across its surface. Sick. And then I don't... Here's the problem. I'm not a doctor, and I don't know how to operate this goddamn machine. Now what? So the only item I have left is an empty pistol. This is like... The only things in the room that are still marked as interactable are this and that, and neither one of them does anything when you touch them. Yeah, interacting with the PDA doesn't accomplish anything. Okay. How does one refine biological tissue? Like, I guess I don't know anything about like preparing organs for surgery. It seems like oh wow. John, don't inhale that. Refined organic material. Okay, that's another one of those like very adventure game things. And the only reason anyone would ever think to do that is that you get to a point where it's literally the only thing you can do. That, okay, all right. Hey, look, I refined it. I definitely did something to it. Okay, well, all right, we'll just, I guess, roll this lady's body off of it, and then I'm not really clear what the plan is, if I'm honest.
You're going to have to be awake for this.
You're not helping.
Sorry. Okay. Just shit. Even be careful doesn't cover it.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It's not like the power's gonna cut out in the middle of surgery.
Shit, John. Why would you even say that?
I'm about to cut into my spinal cord. I'm allowed one joke.
I'll be monitoring.
Deep breath, old man. You can do this.
Why would I be about to cut into my spinal cord? Don't they have to... Okay. This looks like a death. This is what it does when you die. Aren't they in the skin? Don't they have to be in the skin for the plot of the game thus far to make sense? Why do I need to cut into... okay, also, isn't that like a tremendously bad idea? How do you safely cut into your own spinal cord? I mean, not safely, obviously. You don't. The answer to that question is you don't. But how do I cut into my own spinal cord that...
I am Robin, the automated surgical med pod. Your physician will explain the procedure to you and offer you an opportunity to ask any questions. You may
Cool.
feel some discomfort after the procedure, such as a headache or nausea. Let your nurse know if you are uncomfortable so that you may be given medication and or other treatment. Put brain placement of the ribs. Warning, subject is not correctly prepared.
Ow. Okay. So the question I was asking is, how do I do this in a way that doesn't, like, do serious damage to my ability to continue moving around the station and solving puzzles and stuff? Because it seems like that would be really important. Oh, cool. There's a bunch of buttons that I can't read. John, can you read what these say? To me, perhaps? Do we just always click the red one? I mean, it seems like maybe they're just going to go in order. Okay, friends. If you have, like, problems with the kind of material that's about to occur here, you can tell what's about to happen as well as I can. Maybe just fast forward a bit, you know, I don't know.
Session program 0415 initiated.
Not great. This is going to be the fucked up part.
Magnetic resonance imaging.
Well, there it is.
Power surging core system. Powering core system.
Okay, oh, no. Shit. Shit and also fuck. Okay, okay, it comes back on. 1,
Warning, subject is not correctly prepared.
2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then
Blood vessel lesions apparent. Surgery complete. Subject is deceased. Alive. Deceased. Alive. Program terminated. Have a nice day.
cool. Yep, just staple that up. Thank you. Oh god. The surgery pod is more or less closed, right? Okay, well that was grim. But we did make it, and hopefully I can still walk.
Rebecca, run. Oh, Rebecca, run. Oh, Rebecca, run.
John,
Dear. I'm here.
I'm trying to contact you. I couldn't hear anything. I thought the worst.
How long was I out?
2 hours.
Okay.
Okay. Alive, mostly. But fuck, my back is sore.
3 decks and you'll see your daughter. Focus on that. You should have enough drugs running through you to keep going for a few more hours.
Drugs. I've never been a fan. But these are definitely the good ones.
Boy, they do not want you to be able to hear any dialogue over the constant thunder. Okay, so I have my PDT here, and theoretically it's pretty fucked up by the process, right? We were just like zapping the nodes with that surgical prod, whatever it was. But yeah, okay. Now, in theory, we can actually go into medical and we won't get immediately ventilated by the security systems. Oh. And my limbs are more or less working. A qualified working. The bad news is John has lost his ability to run. So I have double-clicked, and we're all just going to sit here and enjoy the sort of slidey walking animation. Didn't quite nail that cycle down. Listen, animation of human figures is challenging. It's difficult stuff. It's funny what I'm willing to let go and what I'm like a weird asshole over. I do feel bad. Okay. So this is still locked, however. How will I deal with that? I mean, obviously I can go put my data tag on here, but it's not gonna... If I take her data tag off, it's just gonna turn off the, it's gonna turn the force fields back on, right? So how am I gonna deal with this? Out of curiosity, am I allowed to just...
I can't see it working like that.
No, that makes sense. Shoot. How do I actually get into medical? Also, isn't it kind of counterproductive to be carrying this thing around?
Dedicated service. This year's profits are up 20% across all sectors. Life expectancy is up 5 years. We are at the cusp of greatness.
Okay, only this part of the desk is examinable.
Humanity has chosen us to do its work, and together we
And it's not actually useful at all.
operation.
I hate having to walk around at this speed. This is not good. Alright, where would I... Like, how would I get anywhere? I guess we can... Maybe go down in the elevator? It might be safe to go down in the elevator now. Yeah, okay, it's got the icon on it. There's no particular reason, like we've not been given any information that the state of the elevator has changed. It's just now it's usable when it wasn't before.
A biological quarantine has been initiated. Level 2. Kitchen knife and snowflake are off limits.
Okay, we've heard a little bit about Project Kitchen Knife.
Level 3. Hydroponics is off limits.
Is that what the door is supposed to sound like?
Perfect.
Where are you, John? Without the PDT, I can't track shit.
Hydroponics. Or what's left of hydroponics. The shaft's covered in growth. I'm not going anywhere.
Wait, let me check the blueprints. Yes, hydroponics has a service elevator.
Affirmative.
Keep me in the loop.
Okay, let's go find that service elevator. The vines may attempt to redecorate the elevator before too long. Yeah, it seems likely. This doorway's bright lighting indicates the entrance to another lab. Lab on that side as well, and also down here. It's all laboratories as far as the eye can see. Oh, and we're allowed to run again. Thank you. I understand why it would not be realistic or whatever,
They
but
grow this world in a few months.
the vaporizer lies broken beyond repair, wrapped in vines.
These plants can't naturally develop this fast.
Kane developed the technology to accelerate plant growth. Oxygen is big business.
Wrestled from their upright position, the vaporization chambers are now resting idly on the floor. And, of course, a bunch of corpses over there in the corner. A network of green veins snake across every surface. We have a locked door up here. These vines have covered many of the laboratory's surfaces. In some areas, the wall and floor can't be seen behind the tangled weave. Got an interactable computer. Dr. Sebastian Gray is logged in. Okay. January 2nd. Finally, we have more room for the Lanesi Harvey strain, which I've been working on so hard. It's days like this that humanity truly proves why it crawled out of the ocean before any other. My section has been expanded. I have more staff, true, but they are drones and have little other function. Now we can expand the research potential of Project Kitchen Knife and see what else the plants can yield. The oxygen production rate is quite unlike anything my initial projections could have predicted. Last year, it became the worst kept secret on the Groob Lake, and all of a sudden I had more interns than I could comfortably employ. Enjoy would be a creepy word choice there. I'm glad he said employ. Their only function is to stumble about the place and ask troublesome questions that I have little time to answer. Oh, if only our world was more like that of insects. I have plenty of workers and drones, but none of the unwavering loyalty. Bees work and work, their faith in their queen unquestioning and constant. That kind of loyalty is beyond price. These interns of mine have their uses, I suppose. We always need volunteers willing to get close to the queen. Am I surrounded by incompetence? One of those imbecilic interns got too close to the queen, and she showed him her affection. Quite amusing, though not to him. This means that I must attend another accident debriefing with the board, though. Dr. Milan does love to test me. I see him up on the hearing bench, and he grins at me in that supercilious look that he has perfected over the years. I suppose that I have him to thank for my current position. It was his recommendation to the board that made them hire me in the first place. Still, I believe he has come to enjoy these little power plays. He does so like to keep me under his heel. That, my dear doctor, is only a temporary situation. Once this project is complete, the chess games that we play so often will no longer be our only battleground. Regarding the project, some of the bug eggs failed to hatch properly. I suspect this is why the Queen was more aggressive than usual. There are more than enough drones to continue the collection work. Their unique chemical properties are doing wonders for the plants, although I'm running short of interns prepared to work in close proximity to them since the last incident. I do not like it. I do not want to have to deal with a bunch of terrifying bugs in addition to the other monsters. The worker I appreciate the most is Akiza. I was astonished to discover that she is related to the legendary Dr. Tenshu of the Eugenics Wars. I did consider mentioning it to her, but I sense she is oddly ashamed to have him as her ancestor. If it wasn't for men like him, our profession would be a hollow shell of what it is now. Then again, if it wasn't for him, genetic research wouldn't have been put back by several generations, now would it? The ethical quandaries we face as men of science. June 16th, so big gap between this and the last one. The insects are restless. They rumble in their apiaries and are more aggressive than usual. My personal deduction is that the presence of the marine thugs aboard the ship are the cause. Armed guards all over the place. I was stopped by one the other day and asked my reasons for going into hydroponics. Well, after explaining I was head of the damn project, I had the guard removed from his post and then the ship. This is insanity. How am I expected to progress with these thugs around? Well, assuming that he doesn't mean that he had that guy airlocked, he probably saved that guard's life. I recall complaining about the inundation of interns. Oh, if only they were still here now. Both Ivan and Theodore disappeared from their rooms last night, and I've had to speak to security about their whereabouts. They were Akiza's assistants, and now the production of the Queen's royal jelly has slowed exponentially. Wait, slowed exponentially? That's not how math works. Okay, it's fine. That's been a huge blow, but a rather extraordinary anomaly has appeared in our growth pods, a hitherto undiscovered strain of fungus. Its origin is something of a mystery to me. These fungal growths fascinate. At first, I thought it was a common garden variety mold, but after a substantial analysis performed by Akiza, it seems to harbor neuron activity. That is to say, it seems to exhibit rudimentary signs of intelligence. I mean, it's pretty wild that it has neurons at all, right? We've certainly created some unusual species on this deck, but the idea of a quasi-intelligent fungus growing and evolving of its own volition is exciting and, frankly, frightening. I've asked Akiza and the remnants of her team to cultivate it, but exhibit caution in where it is spread, which they clearly did with incredible efficacy. I was asked by one of Dr. Milan's assistants if the fungal substance discovered growing in the bowels of the ship had anything to do with us. I lied, of course, but this is becoming alarming. Our experiments flourished at first. We may have lost more staff recently, but our experiments have been very fruitful indeed. Confidentially, the properties of the fungus are both extraordinary and terrifying. It has the remarkable ability to take control of a living subject's central nervous system and hypothalamus, as observed in the monkey we used for testing. The monkey shrieked and thrashed in rage for the first few days after it was exposed, and then it became quiet, observant, and uncannily intelligent. It's certainly aggressive, but then again, which viruses aren't? Well, okay, a fungus is not a virus, first of all. And secondly, gosh, this is a common, common thing. We engineered some kind of cordyceps and it's just gone out of control. It's a very common horror plot in the last, decade or so. I mean, I get it. It's existentially quite terrifying, but it's just, very common. December 1st. No. We've officially lost control of the deck. Eden now truly belongs to the beasts. We've seen strange things. I watched as the fungus took control of the deck, as it spread through the staff, and, much to my shame, I watched their deaths and examined their bodies. nobody can cross the pods because the bugs are so aggressive that when Solomon went through in a rad suit, they ripped it from his body and stung him to death. It took mere moments. Still, I live in the hope that these insects will remember me, their creator, and perhaps see me as one of their own? Yeah, it's not really how insects do generally, my dude. Okay, we got some emails here from Dr. A. Tenshu to Dr. S. Gray regarding my family. Dr. Gray, I do not wish to seem unprofessional or impolite, but I would ask that you not press me on the subject of my ancestry any further. I was nearly refused entry to medical school on the basis of my family's background, and the torment I suffered at the hands of my school peers regarding my great-great-uncle was unbearable. I am fully aware of his actions, and I've seen countless photographs and documents of the consequences of his work. I took this position to change our world for the better, not to be reminded of the skeletons in my family's closet. I've enjoyed our working relationship thus far, Dr. Gray, but I'd prefer my family history no longer be a topic of our conversations. Yeah, that's... what else could you possibly expect? From Dr. E.F. Way to Dr. S. Gray regarding Neil. Do we know Dr. E.F. Way? I don't think we do. Dr. Gray, I enjoyed our meal yesterday. It was refreshing to hear a man so outspoken on this ship. I appreciate your candor, and I do agree that perhaps it is time the board was shaken up a little. Although this is merely an observation rather than an action plan, I think the top leadership needs some new blood. I'd second you, if you decided to take on the challenge yourself. Your impeccable scientific pedigree more than qualifies you. By the way, did you know where they were keeping that new cargo? It seems rather like a waste of resources if they won't even tell us where it is. Okay, interesting. I don't know what's being referred to there either. Could there possibly have been even more things going wrong on this ship? This is an evaluation platform for specimens and samples to be inserted into the glass chambers. And it looks pretty interactable, although it's not clear to me why I would want to interact with it. I mean, it looks like you could put something on it, you know. Alright, the Vaporizer. Report. The Vaporizer, the perfected Mark V model of the Kane Corporation Trans-State Modifier. Using advanced and unique molecularization technology, the Vaporizer has the ability to shift a targeted substance between gas, liquid, and solid states, without any of the structural breakdown seen in objects shifted between states on a regular basis. The Mark V is the latest model, but it hasn't yet been rolled into mass production because of the current difficulty fueling the Vaporizer with resources on board the Groom Lake. Recent experiments undertaken were more than satisfactory, and it passed the Kane safety and security test with no adverse effects causing harm to the user observed. It has been graded level 4 because of the specific nature of its technology and the limited quantity of existing vaporizers. During an experiment recently carried out on the royal jelly produced by hydroponics, Dr. Gray and other observers commented on the remarkable speed at which the jelly was transformed into gas, thus placating their insect population. Okay. So if we vaporize some jelly, we can maybe chill out the aggressive insects, which I'm sure is going to be relevant very soon. Also, that thing like fully has a ColecoVision controller just grafted to the side of it. This does not speak to me of a really high-tech system. It's got me a little nervous. Oof, those things were nightmares. Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
It's some sort of insect.
Keep your distance.
It's tied up. Doesn't look like it can get loose.
Tied up. How big is it?
Yeah, big is definitely the word. Is there some hardened... Okay. Some hardened amber here at the base of this big tree, I guess? A tall, strangely shaped tree grows out of a housing space in the floor. Milk from the creature is being fed into the tree by a pair of tubes. Milk in quotation marks. Amber trickles from the tree, but most of it is hardened into an incredibly tough compound. Okay, that's interesting. Overgrown vines are no less dense in this room. We have a functional computer terminal. These tanks exist to collect what is being milked from the brute. And then, I mean, obviously there's this whole situation. A mottled abdomen, swollen egg sac, or plump milk gland. Or, you know, maybe all three, actually. Semi-organic suction cups were custom designed to harvest this creature's excretions. It's difficult to grasp the size and form of this insect creature. Udder-like protuberances spout from its bulbous abdomen, while the pincers stab the air. Yeah, I assume if I tried to, like, walk up to it, it would still totally destroy me. Akiza Tenshu, personal logs. Let's have a look. Oh, praise God Almighty, I couldn't be happier. Dr. Gray took me to one side and told me that I was the only person who had the skill and ability to take control of the nursery. He promoted me on the spot and said that I was now personally responsible for the queen. The royal jelly that she produces has proved to be incredibly useful. I discovered through my own analysis that not only is the jelly an essential nutrient for the insect population, but that it has other amazing physical properties too. It accelerates molecular bonding in certain substances, acting as a thickener for many natural substances, while also regenerating their natural properties. With some engineering, I imagine we could turn this into a true medical breakthrough. I imagine doctors in hospital wards on Earth using our bonding agent to heal wounds instantly. Perhaps, finally, the Tenshu name will be revered in medical history instead of reviled. Oh, the queen is a temperamental little thing. A fiery lady, to be sure. Ah, but Queenie, you forget. I grew up in a family with more than one fire-breathing dragon. If I can handle my mother, I can certainly handle you. Although, when she's milked, she is rather docile. I dare say she's rather attached to me. I'm sure I heard her purring at me. And that's the only way I can describe it. I'm aware that she's a bug and all, but it sounded rather like approval. My parents kept hives of bees, so I've never been squeamish over insects, and I can tell the difference between aggression and favor. I'm still the only person who can get close without being bitten, and her bite can leave one hell of a mark, let me tell you. Hodgkins said he'll report his side effects upon his return from sick leave. In other news, Dr. Maracheck, one of Gray's subordinates, has requested samples of the jelly for experiments with his tree resin. He thinks it might have a use as an industrial adhesive. This is a little way from my original intention, but I do suppose it's a start. I try so hard to be positive, to be the person whose enthusiasm never once flags or fails. But when you start hearing rumors that appall you to your very core, I tried to shrug it off, but recently it's become harder to deny it. I've been hearing sounds from the elevator shafts. The sound of a wailing infant, crying out in pain before suddenly being silenced. That is no rumor. Sometimes I lay awake at night, and I swear I can hear the crying of children. I can't be dreaming. I saw Ingracia. Oh, Ingracia is probably EF way, right? I saw Ingracia to confess my fears. He gave me a prescription to help me sleep, but something in his eyes said that he knew I was hearing something real. And worse, it was something he was hearing too. More rumors. Dr. Milan is using children in his research. I have to ignore it. If it were true, Kane would remove him immediately. Surely. Even Dr. Gray appears to find it an uncomfortable subject for discussion, and this is a man who slept easily when Isaac got his left cheek torn off by the Queen. Is Dr. Gray short of staff again? Once again, I'm being forced to manage multiple projects. Only this time, it's an examination of an acutely destructive new spore that seems to have infected a few of the pods. First observations, it's a parasitic fungus that grows faster than a common weed. And like a common weed, I feel it should be destroyed. But I know that Dr. Gray won't do it. He, like many of the other senior doctors, sees any new species as something to be exploited or weaponized. In the darkness, something stirs. I can't say what. I'm too afraid to find out what it is. When Ivan and Theo disappeared a month back, we assumed they'd somehow deserted. That was the official stance taken by Dr. Milan and the board, anyway. Last night's events prove that there is something on board with us, though God knows where it's from. The Queen was more rambunctious than I've seen her before, and milking her was certainly more challenging than I'm used to. Edmund was assisting. We've been short on staff, and some of our volunteers are simply refusing to show for work. The Queen's environment has been disturbed a great deal, and so her violent tendencies are more pronounced. Edmund was on his way out of hydroponics when it happened. Some thing, pulled him into one of the air ducts. I didn't see much. I saw him walking toward the decontamination chamber, and the next moment his legs were kicking the air as whatever it was dragged him up and into the ceiling, while he squealed like a pig. I'm resigning tomorrow. I did not sign up for mad science. I came to Kane to serve humanity and clear my family's name, not watch my crewmates be slaughtered by a species that Dr. Milan refuses to confirm or deny. And then, yep, here we go. Last entry, December. We know approximately how this goes. Oh, if only I'd resigned when I said I would. And if only they hadn't ignored my demands to have the infernal fungus destroyed. It's growing over me now, over my skin. It's burrowing into my flesh. The insects attacked again today, and it seems to only worsen. Dr. Gray was destroyed by a swarm of them, and now he's only fertilizer for that ever-ravenous mold he was so curious about. The uninfected are making an attempt to escape. This doesn't include me. The emergency flares will keep the bugs away. I told them to give me the flare to hold back the bugs so they could get away. I hope they escape soon. The fungus is making my head feel funny. I'm sure I can feel it growing through my ear canal. Yeah, great. I'm so happy to be down here without any kind of helmet on. Okay, from Dr. Gray to Dr. Tenshu regarding foolish pranks. Azika, with the greatest respect, could you please stop the ridiculous pranks your group insists on carrying out in the fertilization chambers? I will admit that they're hardly dangerous, but they are undignified. I certainly wouldn't like to be present when a Kane inspector stumbles upon young Theodore racing in front of the Queen, hands above his head, while shouting, "I'm covered in bees!" It is unprofessional. Please instruct them to cease their foolishness at once. Kind regards, Dr. Gray. And something from Dr. Wei regarding a matter of spirit. No. Dr. Wei's first name is Eleanor, in fact. Akiza, don't worry. I don't think that you're losing your mind. Ghosts are a possibility, but I suspect what you're hearing is perhaps the sounds of devices playing in other parts of the ship. I do believe, at the moment, that the corporeal world and spirit world are very much divided. So try to calm yourself. If you would like, I can talk to someone in cargo storage about those sounds, but I wouldn't worry about it. This island is full of noises, but pay them no mind. For once, I'm quoting Shakespeare and not the Bible. Get some sleep and maybe do fewer night shifts. Yeah, not that she had much of a choice, right? Okay. Well, we have a milk processor. So I guess we bring some kind of receptacle here. We get the stuff. We take it to the vaporizer. Happy face. Yup. And, like, there's an interaction prompt here, but we die. Right? For sure? Let's not go anywhere near that. Let us check the other door. I hear bugs. Yep. Alright, so there's an oxygen collection tank attached to each of these things. A soft mechanical inhalation sound is audible here, while the tank collects oxygen produced by the room's abundant plant life. This tree is a perfect example of a species that has been gene-tailored for generations to grow perfectly in hydroponic environments on vessels, lunar stations, and asteroid mining settlements. So I think there is an open question here as to how far into this room we could manage to get before the bugs would, just sort of like take all of my flesh. That's what I'm assuming will occur roughly. There's definitely an observation platform up there. I don't know how we would reach that. A couple of corpses up there. And there's something on the other side of the room. Okay. What do I have in my inventory right now? Is it just the gun still? Oh, and I have my PDT, right. I need like, I don't know. I need something to carry some of the jelly in. We could try interacting with the queen. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there are any other objects in here. Well, alright. I guess I'm gonna go for it. Actually, you know what? Let me try some other stuff first. What if I smash this hardened amber with a gun?
Crazy. Although,
Okay. So far, we have only used this gun as a hammer. Well, actually, we kind of used it as a chopping knife somehow in a way that doesn't really make any sense. But gosh, I wish I had bullets. Alright, friends, who wants to see a death animation? Wow, yeah. I kind of thought it would just be a, you know, pedipalp, kill you where you stand kind of thing, but that's cool too. Alright, well now that we've verified that, how do we... I can't imagine what interacting with the queen would get us anyway. Like, we need some of this stuff, right? Smash the milk processor.
I don't know what I was thinking there.
I was thinking I like smashing stuff. It's not rocket science. So we can't break this off, which we could probably... If we could break this off, we could probably vaporize this too, right? It says explicitly that it works on solids. Okay, I guess let's check this room too. Let's see exactly how far we're allowed to go in and what we're allowed to touch without dying.
Oxygen levels increasing.
Okay. And we don't have the ability to undo that, so I guess it must be a good thing to do. There it is. Okay. So we're allowed to interact with one of the tanks, but we can't really do anything that seems valuable. And I think the area to screen left of the door doesn't actually have any interactables anyway, so no sense trying over here. I should probably do this since we can do this.
Oxygen levels increasing.
But I don't know what to make of that. And I really just like knock the valve right off of there. Okay.
No, that won't work.
So the elevator's not going to move again. Am I missing a doorway or something? How would we get up here? There must be a way to access that without just walking through the room, right? It's an observation thing. But I don't actually see how you would get up onto it. Maybe you'd have to approach it from like the other side, from the southeast. And we have this doorway, which doesn't really give us anything of value at the moment. This is just a PDA.
Another locked door.
Trying to interact with stuff to see if Taya will step in and provide us some assistance.
Corporation is watching you. We care.
A green scum has dripped down from the ceiling, staining the wall. It's a tad judgmental. The air is filled with a distinctive jungle scent. Plants are producing odors that are sweet, creamy, and seductive in equal measure. That's okay. That's an opinion you can have, I suppose.
Vaporizer chamber compromised. Chamber is not airtight.
Right, so we'd have to fix that too somehow. But you know, we have this substance that is theoretically usable as an industrial sealant. If we could just get some of it.
No, that won't work.
This just gets me eaten, right?
I don't think this will fit.
Okay, or it doesn't do anything at all. Is there anything in here? There's all of this greenery on the ground, so it would be pretty easy to hide an item amongst it, I suppose. But it doesn't look like they have. I mean, my PDT is certainly not going to help here. Yeah, we know approximately what we need to get the insects calmed down. It's just a matter of figuring out a way to provide it. Oh, right, there are controls on this computer. We read the logs and I totally spaced. Okay. Reports. The Queen's life cycle, week 93. I don't know when that is relative to the current day. Monday, healthy, docile, responsive to stimuli, milking as normal. Tuesday, no activity. Wednesday, heightened aggression. Thursday, no activity. Friday, healthy, highly aggressive. 3 personnel wounded in milking. Saturday, healthy, quiet, unusual brooding behavior. And then Sunday, aggressive, 1 fatality via venom pouches. Well, we didn't see any venom pouches. Alright. Okay, so now we're actually doing the... Okay, alright. The processed milk. Cool, great. Am I allowed to get more? The answer is yes. Okay, but I can't actually hold more. So, can I use it to patch the tank?
I don't think this will fit.
No, we need something else for that. Oop, and I have clicked outside the window. Okay, there we go. Yeah, but we can't actually do the vaporizer thing until we can repair the glass somehow.
Vaporizer chamber compromised. Chamber is not airtight.
Yeah, and we definitely don't have anything in our inventory that is appropriate to that task. I need like a roll of tape or something. Out of curiosity, am I now allowed to... Sorry, that's the wrong menu option. Am I now allowed to gain more milk? The answer is yes. So, I mean, this stuff must have multiple uses, right? Or, you know, maybe it only works for a limited time on the bugs, and so you have to be able to fire it off again if you fail to take advantage of it quickly enough. If we could get some of this, like, liquid amber, and smear it on the glass. Maybe it would harden into a patch.
It doesn't work like that.
Fun, good, fun times. All right.
No, that won't
Yeah,
work.
we already tried that. And I mean, I guess while I'm at it,
These don't go well together.
okay, not a surprise. So, still a little unsure what to do then. Well, you know what? This is probably an okay place to leave it off for the moment. Lost a little tiny bit of momentum. When you come back next time, we're going to figure out what we need to do to get the hell away from this creature, because I would love it if we could just never ever see it again, ever again in our lives, ever. Wouldn't that be lovely? And we'll see you then.